going, guys? JLB here, and today I'm going to be talking about the real reason Spider-Woman is still getting nerfed, even though the rebalancing team is basically shut down. Now, there's still going to be rebalancing champions, but it's not going to be a team. Basically, now Kabam, it's like it used to be. They have the right to, whenever they feel need to make a change to a champion, old or new. But the rebalancing program is shut down, but Spider-Woman is still getting nerfed. So if you weren't aware, about a month ago, Spider-Woman by Kabam in the rebalancing program determined that Spider-Woman is too overpowered of a defender, is what they originally said. So they're taking ensnare away from Spider-Woman. Now, if you're not sure what ensnare is, basically ensnare is like ability accuracy reduction. And I think hers is like only like 35%, which can help counter evade, and basically the ensnare can just mess up a lot of things. I mean, it can shut down a lot of different champion abilities, nodes, and we'll get to that later. But basically, Kabam claims that her ensnare was too overpowered on defense. Okay, so I can kind of agree with that. She's a really good defender. So if that was the case, why not just take her ensnare away on defense? No. And see, here's the problem. If they would have done that, yeah, some people would be upset, but not that much backlash. But instead, Kabam adds secret motives, and they also remove her ensnare on offense. Now, why would Kabam do that, you might ask? Well, I think I've figured out pretty much why. And it's because of how overpowered Spider-Woman is offensively. Like I said, she's insanely annoying on defense. But there's other insanely annoying defenders on defense. I mean, Jean Grey. And they tried to use like their system, like saying Spider-Woman's not performing like a 4 out of 5 defender. But that's insane, because Serpent would be a 10 out of 5 defender. Dark Phoenix is overpowered. Deathless Thanos is an amazing defender. I mean, Jean Grey, Onslaught. There's so many defenders in the game better than Spider-Woman that are more overpowered. So you might be asking again, why would Kabam nerf her offensively as well? And that's because her ensnare. And why her ensnare would be wanted to be banned by Kabam is for money. And you might be asking, money? How does Spider-Woman's ensnare on offense have anything to do with money? Well, just think about it. She's the best science attacker by far. So if you already have someone as overpowered as Spider-Woman, why would you spend money on new science champions? Like Lizard, who's now coming out conveniently near when Spider-Woman's going to be nerfed. Okay. Other science champions like Scorpion, who might be released as a 7-star during the banquet. Why would you want to spend your money on Scorpion when you have a better version of him in Spider-Woman? Dual threat. Okay, you might be thinking, really, you think they would do that just for a few science champions? And yes, but it's further than just the science champions. Because Spider-Woman, you see, she doesn't just take down the Mystic class. Spider-Woman destroys every single Mystic, even overpowered defenders like Nico. Spider-Woman is immune to poison, so she already counters Nico. Plus almost every Mystic defender in the game. But see, she counters a lot more than just the Mystic class. She can take Zola, one of Kabam's newer defenders that gives a lot of people trouble. She destroys him. She destroys Onslaughts. She can take Serpent. She can take Jean Grey. She can take almost every single meta-relevant defender that Kabam releases she can take dominoes. So why would you spend money on other champions when you can just use Spider-Woman to counter those champions? And see, that's the problem. That's why Kabam wants to nerf Spider-Woman. See, her ensnare, like I said, reduces ability accuracy. So it allows her to fight those champions and turn off some of their annoying, like, defensive strategies. Such as Domino. Domino places energy damage on you. But with Spider-Woman, she can fail that. She can fail a bunch of abilities because the 35%, you're like, oh, that's not that much. But it honestly seems like it fails the abilities more than 35% of the time. I'm not saying it actually does, but it feels like it. And that just allows her to be such a nuke against any champion in the game almost. You can take Spider-Woman into any Battlegrounds fight, and you're going to finish the fight. You might not finish with 100% health. You might not win every match. But she can take almost every single meta-relevant defender in the game on offense. Like I said, why would you spend money on the new Science Champions when you can literally just save up your Titan shards, open them, and get a Spider-Woman? Every single person I see in Battlegrounds has a rank 4 Spider-Woman. I have a rank 4 Spider-Woman. Literally. Probably the second most, I would say easily top 5. I'll just say top 5 most rank 4 champions, especially of 2025. Probably top 1 in 2025, to be honest. And Kabam can say whatever they want about her being too overpowered on defense. Again, if that was the case, and I do agree, she is overpowered on defense. But usually what Kabam does when someone's overpowered is they release a champion, like they did for Spider-Woman, Okoye, who's a hard counter. And Okoye does destroy Spider-Woman. And a lot of champions can take Spider-Woman. But once again, the problem isn't defense. Because if that was the problem, Kabam would have just taken away ensnare on defense only and left her alone offensively. Kabam thinks they're slick by doing this. And what I don't get is they're canceling the program but still nerfing Spider-Woman. Like, they didn't want to nerf Dark Phoenix because they made people spend thousands and thousands of units and $1,000 to get a 7-star Dark Phoenix. So instead of, what do they do? Instead of nerfing her, no, they just shut down the program. And they leave the other champions alone. And Karate Mike said that they're not going to nerf Carolina and Nico. How is Nico not overpowered defensively and offensively? But Nico doesn't counter almost every single meta-relevant defender like Spider-Woman and her ensnare. Her ensnare is very powerful. And yeah, you can say, well, they gave her, basically what they did in place of the ensnare is they gave her, I want to say, I know they gave her something where she counters evade stronger. I can't remember what it was. But basically now she counters and evade like a really high percentage. It's almost like 100%, I'm sure. So now she fully counters evade 100% of the time. And yeah, okay, that's better than nothing. But the ensnare can fail any ability. Literally any ability in the game, she reduces it. So I don't know if Kabam's going to give down rank down tickets because someone like me, I took her to rank 4. I only have 6 rank 4s. I gave her a Science Awakening gem, and as you can see, I have her at SIG 117. So is Kabam going to give us rank down tickets, our gems back? What are they going to do? Most likely, they'll do nothing and probably try to ignore the criticism, Kabam fashion. But yeah, my honest opinion is Kabam is nerfing Spider-Woman because they want more money. They don't want you to be able to take down meta-relevant defenders with Spider-Woman. They want you to pay for their new ones that will come out. And honestly, it's just scummy, and that's why a lot of people are saying they're not going to spend money. You know, I'm pretty much already free to play, but, you know, it doesn't make you want to spend money on the game when, like I said, I took her to rank 4, gave her an Awakening gem, and used her for months, and now they're going to nerf her? I mean, that's just really scummy, and they lie about it. They didn't. It would have been another thing if they just wouldn't have lied, but they have to talk about it as if, oh, she's too overpowered defensively, and like I said, she is. Then why are you nerfing her offensively? They never even mentioned anything about it. And then they said something about her matchup spread doesn't need to be. She doesn't need ensnare for her matchup spread. Then why would they put it in her kit and release her as a champion and let people play for months? People spend money to buy her at first. People save their Titan shards. People use their resources. People save Titan shards just to get her. And now they want to go behind your back, lie about why they're nerfing her, close down the program to avoid more backlash, and still nerf her. I mean, we know what you're doing, Kabam. But if you guys watched to here, thank you. If y'all want to leave a like and a comment, just sharing your opinion. If you have a different opinion on this, then let me know. And if you disagree or if you agree, and make sure to subscribe.